Madame Melius.
Some movies are great, with their script, cinematography, characters, and their plot twists. They are great movies. But some movies are beyond great. They are revolutionary. They expand the limits of their medium. They aren't like anything that's ever been done before. They're very special, one-of-a-kind movies. In this video, I'll tell you why 2001: A Space Odyssey is one of those. So, let's begin. There are many things that make this film really special. And there are quite a few video essays that already talk about them in depth. So, I'll focus on only two aspects in this video. Let's start with the first one. The scope of the story. Beyond the set design, the cinematography, and even the monkeys, when we ask ourselves what 2001: A Space Odyssey is really about, we find a really interesting story. It's the story of us, humanity. The story of our existential journey. And Kubrick doesn't shy away from telling it all. The movie starts by taking us to pre-human times where our ancestors lived. While 2001 is certainly not a documentary, I can't find a better representation of pre-human times in any other movies. It feels so real. Movie tells us that we were ape-like creatures trying to survive the hostile conditions of the Earth. Most of the times, that hostility originated from the Earth and other creatures, and sometimes from within, as we were separated into communities sharing limited resources. And most importantly, we were living in absolute uncertainty. But something happened along the way and we became humans. Looking at the storyline, aliens triggered this evolution through the appearance of a monolith, but I won't focus much on the plot there. What changed? We started using tools. A bone was no longer just a bone. A bone was also a weapon, or even a spaceship. Tools gave us the ability to master the Earth. As they got more advanced, we evolved as well. But rather in a sad way, as the movie suggests. We see lonelier people whose existence is reduced more to their functionality. We can see it from the lives of Dave Bowman and Frank Paul in the Jupiter mission. They seem to be more like tools than humans, more functional. In a way, the movie is suggesting the technology that enabled us to master the Earth also dehumanized us.
Well, hell, I'm damned if I can find anything wrong with it.
As Dave Bowman lands in Jupiter, the most cryptic part of the movie starts. There is lots of speculation and theories around it, but let's hear what Kubrick himself has to say.
The idea was supposed to be that he is taken in by godlike entities, creatures of pure energy and intelligence with no shape or form. And they put him in what I suppose you could describe as a human zoo, and to study him. And his whole life passes from that point on in that room, and he has no sense of time. It just seems to happen as it does in the film. And they choose this room, which is a very inaccurate replica of French architecture, deliberately so inaccurate, because one was suggesting that they had some idea of something that he might think was pretty, but weren't quite sure, just as we don't. And anyway, when they get finished with him, as happens in so many myths of all cultures in the world, he is transformed into some kind of super being and sent back to Earth.
Aside from the plot, I think we can interpret this part on a more symbolic level. Rather than saying humans will evolve into those weird star-child-like beings, I think the movie is hinting that our next evolution will let us transcend beyond our physical existence. Who knows, maybe we'll exist only as energies? But that doesn't matter. Whether the movie gets it right or not, what matters is that Kubrick dared to make a speculation on something like our next evolution. And that makes it very special. There's another aspect of this movie that I find really interesting, and that is its relationship with the future.
You are listening to the sound of a completely new screen experience. A startling new kind of excitement.
The movie was made in 1968, when the space race was hot. There were many movies about space and the future, but I don't think any of those painted a more accurate picture than 2001 did. Even beyond that, I'm saying that maybe 2001 shaped the future itself. You don't believe me?
What do you think?
Let's look at some
What
of
do
the
you think?
aspects of the future we see in the movie. International travel, digital control systems employed by the governments, FaceTime, modern way of life centered on individuality and self-development, iPad or even iPhone, and yeah, that monolith really looks like an iPhone. And most importantly, AI. At a time when computers barely existed, Kubrick envisioned AI. With ChatGPT and other LLMs becoming increasingly present in our daily lives, it's surreal to realize how close we're coming to Kubrick's vision of AI. Yeah, they're not driving our spaceships yet, but they could soon drive our cars. All of these aspects combined, I think it's fascinating how accurate of a picture Kubrick painted for the future. So, why am I telling you all these? Next time you see a movie, I want you to ask yourself this question. Was this a good movie? A great movie? Or a revolutionary movie?
This conversation can serve no purpose anymore. Goodbye.